Bodhi in the Brain, Part 14. How you doing, everyone? This is Morgan O. Smith here. Bodhi in the Brain is the title of my book that's coming out. You can say this spring. Yeah, Bodhi in the Brain. This week, I wanted to talk about Kundalini. Even though in the book, Bodhi in the Brain, I'm not discussing Kundalini a lot within the book. I touch on it, but I don't really go into detail about Kundalini only because I'm not an expert in Kundalini, and there's so much that can be explained about this phenomenon. So I don't cover too much on it, but I touch on it just to let people know that this thing exists, what it's all about, and everything like that. But as I said, I didn't go into detail only because that could be its own book, and I didn't want it to be a Kundalini book per se. But it is very important. People need to know about Kundalini for those who's never heard of it. So for those who don't know, Kundalini is a word that means what does it mean? Coiled up, to be coiled. So anytime you see in Hindu tradition, they refer to it as they use the symbol of a snake that represents Kundalini. So Kundalini is an energy, it's your life force energy. This energy keeps you alive, right? So everyone has Kundalini energy. Without Kundalini energy, you would not be alive. So everyone has this energy, but most of this energy lies at the bottom of your tailbone. So, and it's coiled up. It lies dormant until something happens where this energy gets released. And this energy can get released, for those who know already, through meditation, yoga. It can also happen through acts of kindness and things of that sort. So, or even the devotion to a guru. So again, that could happen through meditation, through yoga, through acts of kindness, or through devotion, things of that sort. And when this energy gets released through your body, it's supposed to travel up your spine. So it travels up the spine to the spinal fluid, and it goes through all your chakras, because for those of you who know about chakras, which I think most of you do, these energy centers within certain parts of your body that's aligned with your spine. So when this energy, Kundalini, travels through the spine, it's supposed to travel all the way up until it hits your crown chakra, which is above your head. So it's very, very interesting stuff. And I realize that a lot of people don't know about it. Outside of my circle anyway. People in my circle have some idea about it, but outside my circle, it's like it's unheard of. The only reason why I'm bringing it up for Kundalini only because I have a client who asked me some questions about that, but I wasn't able to go into detail about it only because I was busy at the moment. I wasn't able to go into detail, and it would have taken me a few hours to talk about Kundalini. So I said, you know what? It is addressed in Bodhi in the Brain, so let me go through a bit of that here. So, as I said, Kundalini is this life force energy, travels up the spine. Not only does it travel up the spine, though, like this energy is something that goes through. It travels through the spine, which I have already said, but it also travels through the veins. It travels through the arteries. It travels through dendrites, axons. This energy is within all your cells in your entire body. So through all your cells, your neurons, everything. So you're bathed in Kundalini energy. But when this energy gets activated, especially from the tailbone of your spine, and also too, some may argue that it's not only in the tailbone of your spine, but you have another section of that lies dormant within the brain. So in the brain, at the top of the head, they call that Shiva, and at the bottom where it rises from the tailbone, it's called Shakti. So Shakti travels up through the spine, and not only through the spine, but through the arteries, through the veins, through the meridians, through the nadis. And nadis I've addressed some episodes back. It travels through everything. This energy is within your bone marrow. It's in everything. And this energy travels up, and it's supposed to travel all the way up until it meets Shiva. And when the two of them meet together in union, you experience a Kundalini awakening. All right, that's what a Kundalini awakening. Now, I will say that all spiritual experiences are Kundalini, right? Any type of spiritual experience a person can experience, all of that is Kundalini. But what I'm referring to right now is, in a traditional sense, because Kundalini, in regards to Kundalini Awakening, is very distinctive, in my opinion, it's very distinctive from other spiritual experiences and other forms of spiritual awakening. So there aren't just one type of spiritual awakening. There are various forms of spiritual awakenings, right? So in my opinion, Kundalini, in the traditional form, is probably like the second most profound experience a human being can ever have. And some may say, well, what's more profound than that? Well, what's more profound than that is the non-dual experience of realizing that you're in the entire universe itself, right? But Kundalini, you can have an experience of Kundalini and still have your sense of self experiencing what you're going through. And if there's a sense of self there, in my opinion, that's not the highest point. But it is definitely one of the highest points that a human being will ever experience. And most people will never reach non-dual suchness. So from their standpoint, Kundalini would be the most profound experience of their entire lives. So to me, those are the difference. But keep in mind, though, even the non-dual experience of suchness, which is called Turiatita, which has to do with non-duality. What was I saying? That is the highest point, but it's still Kundalini. All right. So one may look at that there's nothing other than Kundalini. But just to be clear, when people talk about Kundalini, at least the majority of the times, they're talking about this distinct experience that it can be separated from other types of spiritual experiences. And it feels totally different when it's happening to you. And when you're going through a Kundalini awakening, you're going through a Kundalini awakening. There's no doubt about it. And when you go through an experience like that, no one can ever change your mind of what just took place. No matter how much other people may doubt that, you yourself, without a shadow of a doubt of what you just gone through. And that is Kundalini. So it's just something that's very important that I wanted to put out there, because a lot of people have asked me about this, including the client that asked me about this just 2 days ago. And I just wanted to just address it a little more. But again, I'm not an expert in Kundalini because it's its own field of study. And as much as I've gone through it myself and also read a lot about it and studied it, I've never felt that I've been in a position to really, really address Kundalini to a large degree. But it's there. There are many, many books on it. And even all the books that I've read about it are only just scratching the surface. Yeah, you have to go through a number of different scholars who are addressing Kundalini to get a more full picture of what this thing is all about. But it's a real thing. It's not something anyone's making up. This is a real thing. There was a point, because I've been going through the Kundalini process for 20 years. So I know firsthand what this thing's all about. But it was only until December of 2019 is when I've actually experienced the full-blown experience of Kundalini. But in my case, it was both the Kundalini and the non-dual suchness. The Kundalini experience happened right after the non-dual suchness. So I had the opportunity of experiencing the fullness of both. And for those who've gone through this, this is a very phenomenal experience that is felt from head to toe. It's felt in every cell. It's felt in everything, in every molecule. It's felt in every atom. It's felt in every subatomic particle, everything, absolutely everything, when you're bathed in this energy and what this energy can do. And again, this is the energy that keeps you alive. But when you go through an experience like that, you realize what it means to live. So what does this have to do with the energy? Well, as I've said many times before, Yinnergy is designed to have people to help people have an awakening, and I'm arguing that to the highest level of awakening, which also includes Kundalini. So, but of course, not everyone has to take it that far. This is just for people who are really, really serious about meditation and who wants to explore the full potential of what meditation can actually do. Because most people think that meditation is about relaxation and stress relief and stuff like that. No, it's it covers that. But meditation is so much more for those who truly practice and taking what meditation is really all about. But most of us can't even comprehend anything beyond relaxation and stress relief. But that's what meditation can do at its full potential. And as I said, meditation can allow people to experience a Kundalini awakening. And Yinnergy can help people do that. And that's what's amazing about Yinnergy. Yinnergy is not the only one that can do this. There's other programs out there that can do this as well. But when you use Yinnergy, especially on a daily basis, and that's what you're focusing on, you can achieve that. And I'll say that to have the full experience of Kundalini or the Kundalini awakening, it can happen spontaneously. It happens to some people, but if you've read about them, they don't always turn out great when it's a spontaneous release. Maybe at the end it does turn out great, but the process, if someone has a spontaneous Kundalini awakening, there's a lot of psychological challenges that happens after that. So it is better for one to prepare with daily preparation, and then experience a Kundalini awakening, so that the stuff that happens afterwards is not as challenging. But if you read about, there are many stories about people who have gone through this, and they'll tell you in depth of what they've gone through, which can be very, very challenging, but also very, very rewarding. So our job is to see how we can help people to release this in a way that is a lot more pleasant to the body. And don't get me wrong, there's still challenges and all that type of stuff, but you can go through a lot less of that if you do it properly. So the Yinnergy can help you with that, the Yinnergy program. And as I said, the Yinnergy program is 13 levels plus. And little by little, it helps to condition the body, the brain, the nervous system, and everything that comes with that, so that when the energy is being released and it rips through every single channel that there is and reaches the top of the head, or actually be above the top of the head, you will experience a Kundalini awakening. Now, I know for some of you this type of stuff sounds frightening, and rightfully so, I get it, but this is the human potential. And for those who want experience and know what their human potential is, Kundalini activation is where it's at. But again, it has to be done properly. There's a lot of research you would have to do personally before trying to achieve something like this. But this is the human potential. For those who want to experience that and realize their potential, they would have to, in my opinion, would have to have a Kundalini awakening. When I talk about potential, I'm not necessarily talking about someone who, is going to invent the next phenomenal thing for all mankind. All of that is part of it, because I believe that all geniuses are tapping into Kundalini, why they do what they're able to do. But this is an experience where you realize who you actually are. And that is the second most profound experience a human being can have. And as I said, beyond that, the non-dual suchness experience, what they call Tita, the moment, this is enlightenment. This is the moment of enlightenment. And there's nothing greater than that. And that's when you realize who you are, and also what you're not. So that's it for this week for Bodhi in the Brain. Again, Bodhi in the Brain is coming out this spring. It's supposed to come out this winter. But of course, certain things, there are a couple of challenges here and there that is delaying this book a bit. But it will be out by spring, should be out by May. So this is exciting. This is great news. But in the meantime, if you're interested about Kundalini, feel free to hit me up, ask me more questions about it. Again, I'm not an expert, but I know a lot about it. I just don't consider myself an expert. But yes, you can ask me any questions on it, and if I have the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't have the answer, I can refer you to someone or to a source that can provide that. So this is it for me. This is Morgan O. Smith. Take care, everyone. Peace.